is just a series of decisions strung into one. You make one decision which leads to another decision which could potentially affect your life. I made a decision to accept a scholarship, go play university football. One of the greatest decisions I've ever made in my life. It's not because I ended up being like a crazy successful quarterback or anything like that. It's just because everything that happened from that decision, my life has gotten so much better. And now this video, you guys saw the title of the video, I want to react to my last ever play that I could ever find of me in practice. So like obviously there's film sites like Huddle and stuff. At the time, like during the practice season of the thing, we didn't have Huddle going. We were just going like YouTube clips, so someone would upload the whole raw file to YouTube. So this is the only clip that I have left from my college football days, and I played in one preseason game. I played 2 drives in my freshman year in a preseason game. And in my freshman year, I played 2 drives in a regular season game, I believe, and that was all I played in my first year. I'm not going to act like I was some sort of legend, but I have one receiver play that I want to show you guys, and I just want to talk a little bit because now that I have an audience that I think is interested in football, I'm so excited to be able to kind of share with you guys my story, give you guys no tips or anything because you guys are going to probably be better than I was, but this is my last ever play that I could find of me playing football, and I'll always keep it. I'll try and keep it. It's terrible quality because the only reason I have it is it was on like the YouTube thing. And I took out my phone because it was like I took out my phone for a bunch of them. But this one I ended up sending to someone on Facebook who asked about a certain thing, and that's the only reason I have it. Everything else I have completely lost. So this is the last play that I have from my university career. I'm out there, wide receiver. We're going to just look at it, and then I'm going to do some talking like you guys know I love to. So I, at this point, am a receiver. This is actually no padded practice. This is right before the season kind of began. I quit, I believe, I want to say a week after this. Maybe like a week or so. It was like and I'll tell you guys the story of what was going on with me at this time, all the mental battles I was facing, and I'm really excited to just do a bunch of story times. If you guys want more story times, just drop a like down below. Let me know something. I want to do a video about my recruiting trip, stuff like that, because I just think it would be a lot of fun. So this is my last ever play. I was playing wideout, and I was playing up against like a good friend, and he was one of the best DBs on the team. He was a third year, and I remember he was the guy who actually took me on my recruiting trip. And this play was just absolutely awesome. Okay, let me go start the clip right now. Super blurry, but you guys can kind of see me. I was running a post, and I was so amped when I caught this ball. So you can see I get to the top, I break, and I catch the ball over the shoulder. For that doesn't seem like much, right? It was a touchdown though, and it was pretty sick. And like, I honestly wish I had this practice because I'm just gonna keep showing it on the screen for like quite a few times. It's so incredibly hard to see, but you can see me you don't even see me come off the line. Because there's just obviously not enough footage that I got on my phone. But you can just kind of see my break and the speed that I had at that point in my life. I would say that's the fastest I've ever been. At this time, I was 6'3", 200 pounds. And it's just that practice. I specifically remember it. And like, because I feel like in everyone's football career, you're going to have that day when you're like, this is perfect. You're going to have ups and downs. But that practice, I felt like everything was perfect. I was making good plays. I was enjoying being a wide receiver. And just life seemed really, really good. And from there on, like that was like an up in a training camp that had so many downs. So I'm going to show you guys something on the screen right now in case you guys don't know. This is like my social media account. I'm not doing this to brag, but you're going to see one major dip. I usually average from the last like year or so about 6 to 7. Like this month we're killing it. We got about 10 million views. But you'll see one major dip. And that dip is at the time of this play actually. So what was going on at this time when all this stuff was happening? I just had my best thing ever with like my MLB stuff going in the summer. I got to training camp. I had switched positions to receiver just because I thought it'd be a lot less stressful. And like we had brought in a really, really big time quarterback, actually higher rated than Johnny Manziel at the time. And I got switched to receiver. I was having so much fun in this padded practices and stuff. And like things were going pretty decent throughout this. And then we got into 2 days. And I believe I was there for 3 weeks. 2 days where every single morning was agility drills for 2 hours, and then you had meetings, and then you had practice, and then you had more and more every single day. And it was like, I came in at 200 pounds. You can see it on the screen. I'm going to put my height and weight. I was 6'3", 200 pounds, probably the most muscular I've ever been. I might even put like a picture of me during the summer. Like I'm not like super built, but I have one picture of me on a paddleboard that I was probably the most built I've ever been. I was in really, really good shape at that time. Well, not like amazing. It's not like I was like super buff or anything, but probably some of the best shape I've ever been in my life. And I got to school, everything felt great, and just the battle of doing YouTube and doing football and the stress of football caused me to lose everything. I couldn't eat for a whole week. It's some of the saddest time of my life. I remember I would go to practice and I would come home and I'd just lay in bed and like I'd have my like YouTube stuff all set up, and I was just so defeated because I had this whole YouTube thing that was going on, and then I had football, which was killing me, like literally ripping my, like I couldn't cope with it, and I kept going for so long, and like I just kept going to practice every day. I wasn't excited. I remember having to wake up at 7 a.m. every single morning with like completely like just sore legs, sore everything. I ended up getting mallet finger, which is where I caught a ball and your finger like breaks. So this part of my finger was completely snapped down like this. Like it was completely messed up, which was really, really like super weird. It was like, and I had to go get that. So I had like a whole brace. My shin splints were at a point that they've never been. And I started at 200 pounds. Within 2 weeks, I was down to about 187. So I lost 13 pounds. I've never felt weaker. And like this was me at like some of my best times, like when I first got there. But as the season, like as it all went on, I knew that I had to make a decision because I wasn't happy. My girlfriend showed up. I hadn't seen her for 4 months. And all I remember was her seeing me, and she just said like, "You don't look well." And I kind of took that, and I was like, I don't think I am. And I remember I went after the one practice to go see her, and I was so incredibly excited because I hadn't seen her in so long. And then I had to go to practice, and then you just get beat up in practice, and then I was so tired and stuff that I wasn't my best self. And at that point I had to make a decision, and this is where like the last kind of play. I'm gonna do my best to like search for like my only game footage that I had, where you have to say goodbye, and you're not just saying goodbye for when you quit football. Like my coach did say to me that if I wanted to come back I could, but when you quit, you quit. And you have to leave knowing that you're never going to come back. And I'm going to talk to you guys for 1 second about my last practice, because this was like not my last practice. My last practice was actually a padded practice. So I went out there, and I remember I went through warm up and everything, and I knew that it was my last practice. I didn't really tell anybody. I hadn't told anybody that I was going to be done after this. I just had kind of like kept going on with it, and I just kind of looked, and I tried to enjoy it as much as possible. And I genuinely did. Like I really, really did. I remember we were doing like, I caught a couple passes, a couple hitch routes on this one like drill and stuff, and I was just taking it all in. I was looking around, kind of seeing the stars, and I knew that it was my last day of playing football and that I couldn't do it anymore. And at that time I was okay with that. And when I stepped off that field and I put my cleats away and I hung up my helmet, I knew that that was it. And I knew that the whole dream of going to the CFL and NFL, which never really was a huge dream of mine, to be honest, I was just kind of there, mainly just for the scholarship, if I'm being honest. It was awesome to be able to go to school without having to pay and just meet all the guys. But like, I think the toughest part was saying goodbye to all my friends that I had made. And it's such a relief to like, I still stayed friends with a lot of these guys to this day. Like some of my best friends play on the football team or used to play on the football team. And I want you guys to know that if you ever come to a point like this in your life at a crossroads where you have to decide between your health and football, it's a really, really tough decision. But if you ever need someone to talk to about it, just let me know. Message me on Instagram with like football talk or something related, and I'll be down, because this is an issue that for weeks and weeks I sat at home and I just didn't know what to do, because you have so many people pushing you one way and so many people pushing you the other way that you feel like you can't make the right decision. And when I quit, it was like this weight lifted off my shoulders, and then something told me the day that I quit to go buy NBA 2K and start posting. I went and I started posting, and then my channel started to grow. Like, you guys don't realize, I quit football when I had 73,000 subscribers. And I remember a specific comment after I quit, because I stopped talking about it, and it said, "You have 73,000 subscribers, you're completely irrelevant, you're never gonna grow, why would you give up football?" And I remember that comment like it was yesterday. And to that kid, I just want to tell you, I have 440,000 subscribers. I have 140 million views. I have got to meet Aaron Judge, and I have accomplished so many dreams that I have had. So to you, the person who was trying to shut me out, I just want you to know I did make the right decision. And maybe that decision is not right for everybody, but just know that in life, you guys, if you ever have to make a decision, do what you want to do. It's not about what your parents are telling you. It's not about what everyone else tells you. Do what you want to do. And if you want to keep playing football, play football. If you want to be a YouTuber, be a YouTuber. Just do what you guys want to do, and just God bless each and every one of you. It's such a great time to be alive, and I want to start sharing more of these stories with all of you, because I have a lot from like my rookie season, stuff like that. And yeah, thank you guys all so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to slap a like on it, hit subscribe to the channel. I love each and every one of you so much, and YouTube has changed my life, because without YouTube, I don't know if I would have been able to cope with the loss of football as well. I think it would have been a much tougher process for me, because losing something like football that consumes so much of your life, I had to fill it with something that would give me the same satisfaction and same enjoyment. And little did I know I was filling with something that would give me more satisfaction and more enjoyment such as YouTube. So thank you guys all so much. I love you, each and every one of you, and I will see you guys next time. That was really, really good. That was really, really good.